Hi there. Welcome to our latest bonus chat. This is from our pod recording looking back over Ireland v England. If you missed it, you'll find it on Apple, Spotify, and all the other usual places. Now, on February 21st, 2020, the Irish under-20s defeated England 39-21 at Franklin's Gardens with a young lad named Jack Crowley at half. And on March 19th, 2023, the Irish under-20s also defeated England by a similar scoreline, 36-24, only this time it was at Musgrave Park in Cork. And wearing the green 10 that day was a certain Mr. Sam Prendergast. Unless you're an Irish rugby fan who lives under a rock, you'll know that both players are currently vying for the national 10 jersey, and they both featured in Saturday's bonus point win at the Aviva. Naturally, the Irish rugby media won't shy away from stirring the debate over who should be starting, so we might as well throw our few Euro cents in. But I'd like a slightly different angle. Is it important to harp on who should be starting, or should we have faith in the coach's decisions, especially while the team is actually winning? Starting with yourself, Hugo.
Yeah, so I find a lot of the ongoing debate about Crowley versus Prendergast very frustrating because so much of it comes down to this binary kind of who's good, who's bad discussion. I think a lot of praise of one player is often taken as criticism of the other, and vice versa. And I think I find a lot of the kind of the partisan kind of sniping back and forth on some of this quite frustrating. I think we are blessed to have two extremely talented young tens coming through at the same time. Remember that a couple of years ago, with Sexton's retirement on the horizon, we were not sure at all who was coming in after this. Jack Crowley came in last season, steadied the ship, led us to a Six Nations championship. We've now got Prendergast, who's starting a 10 for us. And I think they're both incredibly gifted players. I think, it's pro sport and people are going to have an opinion over who should be starting. My personal view is I think Crowley is the better player. I would personally start him next week. With that said, I can see Prendergast starting again because I think Crowley gives you that punch off the bench that I'm not sure Prendergast necessarily does. But Prendergast, for all that he did have rough moments, you also saw signs of what he could do yesterday, his passing, his movement, his vision. And Crowley, when he came on, just it felt like our whole game kind of kicked up another gear. I am so excited by these two players. I think it's amazing to have these two players playing at the same time. I think there's other teams, very, very good international sides, who would kill to have two tens operating at this level. And if we're lucky, we'll spend the next few years watching them develop, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Absolutely. I mean, the way the game turned out, we got the 5 bonus points against England, or we got the 5 points. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, Sam's going to be all the better for the experience. There were times you can see it's his decision making. I mean, on the one hand, he's backing himself to do things, but sometimes he takes the carry too long. He gets himself isolated. Sometimes his choice, but then he throws a pass that you couldn't see others making. He's got this natural disguise on the pass and his natural game. So you just figure that once if he had the 2 years, the 2 or so years at the highest level that Crowley had, and they were both playing at the same time, if they both had that test level experience as matches like this, I mean, just imagine what you'd get from the pair of them. But it's the competition that you want. And you could say now he's the incumbent. The way the selections are going, I mean, this is the way they're setting their game plans, and they're saying at the moment, this is probably the better way of doing it. Have him set the stage in the early part of the match, and bring Crowley on for the impact. And Crowley seems ready for that. He comes on and shows it. Of course, he's fighting for the jersey himself. So we got that 20 minutes out of him on Saturday. So it's kind of working at the moment, but it's just a shame that there's people that are watching that are more focusing, when we get a bonus point win to start the Six Nations against England at the Aviva Stadium, you'd say that you go back 10 years and you say that that's going to happen. You'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, I'll take that. I won't moan about it. But this instead, we're talking about this, what do you think,
Yeah, it's such a boring, reductive, binary argument to say, oh, it should be this one out of, and that's it. They are the best. The others not as good, and should be on the bench for the rest of eternity. What are you talking about? This is an amazing opportunity for Irish rugby to move past that, to be able to mix and match horse courses. I know this might not last forever. I know I can see the point in having a single out half going running the show going into a big tournament, for example. Going into the World Cup, I can see the need for having kind of one primary out half. Up until that point, why does it need to be one? Why does one need to be in charge? We've got two amazing young out halves, both of whom are very talented, and I don't care which of them starts next week. I back both of them to do the job. Frankly, I back both of them to do a more reliable job than Finn Russell, who is again an amazing fly half, but is flaky as hell. And despite having a young lad it's his first Six Nations start, it's his third ever cap, he's already less flaky than Finn Russell, who's probably going to be the Lions fly off. So, really, what are we arguing about here?
Yeah.
These guys are good. They know what to do. And more so, like, the coaches don't know what they're doing. Selecting this player or that player over the other, what do they do? It's nonsense. These people don't know better than the coaches. They don't.
Yeah.
You've
And,
not
and,
been
and the team is winning.
coaching winning teams all the way
Yeah.
up through these coaches don't come from out the back of the Shelburne. It's like, oh yeah, you'll do. Go on, yeah, you're coaching attack for Ireland today. It's not the way it works. These people know what they're doing. Yeah, of course you're entitled to an opinion, but like, try to base it on something close to reality rather than some figment of imagination. Is Prendergast perfect? No. Should he be the number one out half at the expense of Jack Crowley forever? No, absolutely not.
And of course, I mean, I will say it. Is he
the other way
being
around.
picked just because he's Leinster? I mean, is that that's the crux of it? You know what I mean? It's
The idea that Paul O'Connell will be sitting in selection meetings, listening to them going, oh yeah, no, like it's tied between these two players, but this one should be selected because he's from Leinster. Do you not think?
Oh no,
heard
it's a
about
nod.
that?
It's probably a nod and not in a wink. It's probably never actually said.
Yeah, right, yeah. Look, and I hear cohesion being bandied around a lot as well as a code word for they're from Leinster, but that doesn't fly either. It's whoever's best available for the job on the day gets the job done. And
Yep.
the more we can move away from this is the one best person for the job to we have multiple people we can select who will absolutely do a job, and we will select them based on the job that's in front of them and the matches in front of them and the opponents that are in front of them, the better. Look, we're starting to grow Irish depth. This is part and parcel. This is exactly what we're talking about. We're starting to talk about a real depth appearing in Irish rugby that we've not had before. And yes, a lot of it is coming from Leinster, but there's more of it coming from behind in the other provinces. Look at the representation Connacht has in this squad now for first time in years. This number of players. Yes, Ulster and Munster are low numbers at the moment, but look at the youth players they have coming through. This is not about our lad is better than your lad anymore. It shouldn't be. It should be, geez, they're both great lads. I'd be happy to see either of them start. I think this player might be better for this match because of this thing with the opposition. Absolutely. Not, yeah, no, I know his folks. They come from down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's not forget the other options as well. I mean, Kieran Frawley, haven't seen a lot of him lately, but he's in the picture anyway. He's in the squad. And should anything happen, he looks like he's the next option, and we're bringing up options again through the academy. It's how the system is supposed to work, and you want multiple options at every position. It's a debate that's driven by the papers, the people looking for clicks and stuff like that. It's the way they write their headlines and stuff. It's a shame to see it. It's a shame to hear it going on. But I just think it's important that at least somebody's talking about what they're actually doing. They're picking a team to win a rugby match, and they're winning those games. And let's be happy about that for now. You know what I mean? If we were losing week in, week out, yeah, we're going to debate. Maybe it's not the right team. You need to maybe shake things up, and and again, when you win every game, that doesn't mean everything's perfect. You can still improve again as well, but it's just you can almost predict how the conversations are going to go. And let's say a lot of people who saw that we were talking about this, they'll see the banner on the YouTube clip and, oh, that's Harpin on Rugby. They're talking about Jack and Sam, and they're obviously going to be pushing Sam and say how brilliant Sam is, and say, no, that's not the case. I had Jack in my starting team going into this week, and a lot of people did. A lot of people I spoke to did as well. But listen, the coaches are there on the training ground, like you say, and they make their decisions. So that's, I don't think there's really anything more you can say about that. But a lot more will be said. I can assure you.
No doubt, a lot of comment is to be had out of this.
Absolutely.